You could say that I'm a pretty big fan of Far Cry. So, when meetspaceVR invited us to play Far Cry VR in its free roam zero latency venue, I jumped at the opportunity. Developed by Ubisoft, Far Cry VR Into Insanity is a virtual reality exclusive that can only be played at one of 52 locations around the world. 3 of them are in the UK, one in Wembley, another in Nottingham, and the last in Birmingham, which is where we visited. meetspaceVR is a virtual reality gamer's paradise. While there's traditional VR stations, the crown jewel is the Zero Latency stage. It's a huge padded sports hall that lets players walk around in VR with barely any restrictions. You're armed with a PC strapped to your back and a surprisingly weighty gun replica. After a short safety briefing, you're flung into the world of Far Cry, revisiting the Rook Islands from my personal favourite in the series, number 3. The story of Far Cry VR sees you and up to 7 of your friends captured by the iconic villain Vaas. Armed with an AK-47 assault rifle and a long-range crossbow, you're tasked with escaping Vaas's clutches by mowing down his hordes of henchmen. A traditional VR setup would have you standing still and teleporting around the game world. That's not the case in free roam VR. Instead, you're free to walk around pretty much anywhere you'd like. It takes a while to get used to your newfound freedom, but once you overcome the initial nerves, it feels utterly freeing to wander around each level without restriction. Of course, there are still limits to where you can and can't walk. Far Cry VR cleverly funnels you in certain directions so that you rarely encounter a real-world wall. This can make the experience feel quite linear in comparison to the open-world structure we know and love in Far Cry games. However, you'll likely be having far too much fun shooting goons to notice the linear levels. The weighty weapon in your hands feels incredibly accurate. Popping headshots with this thing becomes instantly addictive. Reloading is handled by pumping the gauge on the bottom, which, trust me, feels a lot cooler than we look. The experience culminates in a final battle with Vaas himself. If you thought he was terrifying in Far Cry 3, just wait until you come face to face with him in VR. It's properly scary stuff.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
So, is Far Cry VR worth your time? I wouldn't go into it expecting a traditional Far Cry experience. I would describe it much more as a theme park attraction than an all-out spin-off. That's true right down to the in-game scoreboard that tracks your kills, headshots and deaths. And yes, Sarah did absolutely show me up during our time there. If you're looking for an action-packed half an hour to fill with your mates, you should definitely give Far Cry VR a try. The staff at meetspaceVR were absolutely lovely, and I'd love to go back and try out the other experience that they have on offer. What do you make of Far Cry VR? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments. I've been Josh Boyles for Frag Hero, thank you for watching.
Experience.